we have our next management waiting back to you?
We do. It's Zen Technology. That's the next corporate. Q3 was a strong quarter for the company. The revenues went up 90%. EBITDA surged by 150%. And that led to an increase in the company's margins to 42.7%. Ashok Atluri, the chairman and managing director at the company, is now with us on the show. Thank you very much for joining in. Strong Q3 this year has been good for you. 9-month FY24 revenue growth is 142%. What can you end FY24 with? And can you give us an early indication of FY25 in terms of a top line? In the past, you had spoken of a revenue growth of 900 crore plus for FY25.
Yeah, so this year we had projected a target of 450 crores, and now I think we will achieve the target of 450 crores. And next year, based on the order book position, we have said it's going to be 900 crores. And we think that we still stick to that target, and we think that we will be able to achieve 900 crores.
Okay, all right. Hi, Mr. Atluri. I recall a couple of quarters ago when I was asking you whether you're going to get close to that 1,000 crore mark, you said you're not sure, but maybe it's a possibility. So now in FY25, it's going to be very, very close to that 1,000 crores. And FY26, I'm assuming, obviously, you get past that, going by the order book and going by the, the prospects for the business. But let's keep that aside. For the time being, we have these two numbers. My question to you is, what about the mix? Exports are expected to contribute more. So could you tell us how much will they contribute to both these two numbers, 900 as well as 450 crores? And is exports a better margin business?
I think, the first question is, I think it's going to be in the ratio of, 70-30 or 65-35. The exports will be on the lower percentage. And the margins are better in exports usually, because, what our way of approaching any customer is, we want to give them at the most competitive price in the world. And typically our pricing is a little dependent on what kind of competition do we have. So, yes, but, because of foreign manufacturers who compete with us, foreign vendors, their prices are much, much higher. And so we have an advantage there. And of course, because of the extra work that we need to do for an export, including installation, remote maintenance, etc., we have a higher margin there.
Got it. That clears it out. Earlier the story was more about a simulator, and now suddenly the anti-drone picture as well has picked up pace. What is the, how do you see both these two contributing going ahead? And is there a margin difference between the two? If yes, what is it?
So the margin is a little lower in the anti-drone segment and higher in the simulator. And the percentage split of the order book currently is, about 56-57 to simulator and about 43% to anti-drone systems.
Right. Mr. Atluri, sorry, you said 75% is?
65.
Sorry, 65. What's the mix, sir?
65 to 70% is exports. That is exports, and around 30% is, the domestic market is 70%. 30% is exports, and 56 and 57 and 53 is simulator and anti-drone system split.
Right. Okay. So just 2 points. One, can you tell us the kind of work that that's coming your way now? Orders that you're coming your way. What's the quarterly run rate, or is it very lumpy and kind of tough to predict? So maybe annual stock taking would be better in terms of order inflow. And especially on anti-drones. A couple of years back, I remember when drones as a technology is not really spread wide and far, there was talk of trying to control the spread of drones and not sort of, because as a technology, it could be pretty disruptive. I think there was an initiative in the US, etc. as well. We've come a long way from there. Is drones as a technology, and of course then when you come in anti-drones, is it really taken off, and we should not look back at those kind of things, or is there a chance that in the future we may see some controls, etc. come through? Because it's a global thing. How do you look at it?
So I think the drone market, there'll be the regulation will be there, very strong regulation. But very frankly, the bad actors will anyway get access to this, and they will act on us. So we have to do a balance between stifling the innovation that's happening in the drone segment versus regulating it. I think Indian government has done a fantastic job. They're very, very liberal as of now, and I think that should continue. And with enough checks in place to ensure that don't become threats. But again, these are all evolving. The drone is evolving. Now, most of the anti-drone systems you see, they are made for 2.4 gigahertz commercially available. But the fact is that your threats are not only for commercial bands, but they may be in other bands also, because I don't give a damn about the regulation. So the counter drone things are also evolving very fast. Then today has a solution that goes across not only commercial drone, but all the other bands which the military wants. This kind of, the cat and mouse game will keep going, where the bad actors will try to keep evolving the drones, and we have to keep evolving the counter drone technology.
I'm assuming that the bad actors, because you can do a lot of damage with commercial drones, and that's the risk, and that's where you in a way so far that's where the anti-drone technology comes in as well, right? But you're saying the military drones, etc.,
which are more regulated, in the sense that I'm referring. I'm referring to the bands in which they have to operate. There is a commercial band, the 2.5 gigahertz or whatever. That's the band they're allowed to operate by the regulators. But if I'm a bad actor, I don't give a damn about you got the point. I will do any band that I want. So that is where the threat comes from, and the counter threats have to be, counter technologies have to take care of those threats into account.
Right. You said you do expect strong regulations to come in. Is something imminent? Are discussions underway? Should we expect something soon?
No, there are no strong regulation. What I'm saying is the government is going for liberalization of all the regulation to ensure that the innovation is not stifled. But I think they are going to evolve to say that, how do they prevent the bad actors from actually hitting it? Okay. I am not privy to any new regulations being framed in this direction.
Okay. All right. Mr. Atluri, very quickly before we let you go, you're looking at some inorganic opportunities as well. Anything on the anvil? And if you could give us a rough ticket size?
Yeah, so, what we are thinking is that there are about, including international companies that we are looking at, and they are, in different stages. And we have said that we would like to get only into, technologies that are related to what we are doing, not completely unrelated kind of thing, which will build some kind of a synergy or, give us entry into the, adjacent markets. So yes, the ticket size could definitely vary. It could be in a very low figure to all the way up to a few hundreds of crores. So we are looking at this point in time, but our criteria has been this, that it should be a company that does R&D and IP owned, and we want to at least take a majority stake. And in fact, now we are looking at 100% acquisition, and maybe with a swap, with a cash payment or maybe little shares. So, but again, if they don't own the IP, we don't want to touch them.
Yeah. Sure. Any candidates which meet all your criteria, your requirements? Is there anything on the table right now? Can you close an acquisition in the next 6 months?
So it's a little premature, I think, to talk about them. So, we'll definitely let you know as soon as we are, as soon as we come to any conclusion. But I think they are at different stages, and we think that this will be very well received by the shareholders as and when we announce them.
Got it. All right. So there's a new listing as well, Entero Healthcare, opening a little bit down, close to around 2%. We'll chat with the management in the next 30 minutes or so. But that's the listing up for you on the screen.
All right. No, I just, sorry, the listing which is coming through. I just one last question, maybe we can slip into for Mr. Atluri. Mr. Atluri, these the conflicts we have in the Middle East and the Ukraine and Russia, is that a large driver of export sales for you right now?
What has happened was, first Armenia and Azerbaijan happened, where they used drones extensively, Azerbaijan to win over Armenia, at least get an edge. And then the Ukraine war happened, where extensively they kept using the thing. And, even in Ukraine war, you see that, Ukraine has been gifted the world's most advanced equipment, but they still don't have an edge. And somebody said, if with that equipment, you can win a third world war, but they are not able, because they're not trained. They have the best equipment. They are not trained. In fact, The fact that there is equipment they are being attacked and they're not using the equipment. So the training and the simulation part has become very important. And even in the Middle East conflict, we see that, people with hand gliders actually take over a country that is said we are Iron Dome protected, most secure nation in the world. For 6 hours, they completely control the sub part of the country. So you see that, if the training has become very, very important all over the world. They have started saying it is not the equipment, but training and simulation that is important. And the second thing they are worried about it, that they are not now the way sword fighting evolved to gunfighting, the same tectonic shift has happened in terms of drones being used. And there is hardly any counter-drone technology available.
Sure.
And so these are the 2 points. Training and counter-drone technology are the biggest point. And fortunately, Zen is exactly at the sweet spot that we are offering the solution. You're absolutely right. At this point, there is a high awareness and a high request that we are getting to equip the different nations, our Indian-friendly nations, with adequate training and counter-drone technology.
Got it. Mr. Atluri, we'll leave it there. I like the poster behind you. Think training is hard, try losing. Appreciate you joining in, and it's a great conversation as always. Thank you for joining us. Well,